Howdy. Sorry about the janky setup, but I'm in the business of making art, not perfection. Remember that. I completed every popular art challenge from across the YouTube art community in 1 week. Why did I do this? Why else but to follow the path of kings, to follow in the footsteps of the great beings who came before me, so that I may assert myself as someone who draws pictures for the internet. Hi, and I am here to offer a little bit more insight as someone who has more to say about the experience. Let's begin. The first challenge that I completed was the biggest and most famous, Inktober. The idea behind Inktober is that you create 31 ink-based drawings derived from daily one-word prompts throughout the month of October. A new set of prompts comes out annually, but I chose to use the 2018 list because that was when Inktober was at its most popular, before the guy who started it started jauntily frolicking through the fields of copyright and plagiarism. Fun. Regardless, it was an art challenge that almost every online artist tried back in the day. So I too attempted to complete this 31-day challenge in a little less than that. I started off drawing some dynamic and somewhat abstract drawings that were as fun to make as they were lengthy. I kind of started phoning in a lot of these drawings near the end just so that I would finish in time. Oh, hey! Topical. So the quality may have dropped off a little bit, but that just kind of leaves a funny disparity between tormented soul engulfed in the fires of their own hellish thoughts and Moe from The Simpsons. Hey, wait a minute. My main takeaway from this challenge is that not everything I make is gonna be a masterpiece, and you know what? That's okay. Yes, that is okay. But why? The Inktober part of the challenge took me a little over a day to finish. I was having a lot of fun with this part of the video. Inktober was the first challenge that I decided to tackle, and spirits were high. But after a few hours of drawing, with only like 6 drawings completed and many more than 6 needed to go, with many more challenges in the back of my mind, I started to prioritize speed over enjoyment, which sort of turned this challenge into a chore. To be fair though, this isn't how the challenge is supposed to work, right? Like, maybe if I did like 1 drawing per day like I was meant to, like I did 5 years ago when I attempted to do, Mermaid 2018, maybe I would have made better drawings and enjoyed myself more. Or maybe I would have extended the chore. Bars. Also, if you'd like to see every Inktober drawing that I did for this video, as well as every other piece of art that I drew for this video, there will be a link in the description to my second channel, Second Favorite Brendan. How apt, how appropriate, how delicious. Where you can view everything without having to see my face or hear me talk. That sounds like a win-win to me. Next up is another very popular art challenge from a few years ago, the 10-minute, 1-minute, 10-second art challenge. Simply put, you pick one subject, typically a character, and attempt to draw it thrice within the corresponding intervals of time. I know some YouTubers varied their time allotments for this challenge, but the prospect of completing an entire challenge with so many more in the back of my mind in under 12 minutes, that sounded pretty good. And since I am currently residing in the beautifully pungent city of Los Angeles, California, I simply had to draw its most widely renowned resident, Lieutenant Columbo. The 10-minute Columbo was pretty straightforward. It was just a matter of sketching out the pose before solidifying the drawing with some heavier line work. But I'll be honest, the 10 minutes went by a lot quicker than expected, which didn't bode super well for the 1-minute drawing. I took a face-first approach with the 1-minute Columbo, naturally losing a lot of detail, but overall, the drawing is still recognizable as Columbo. This would soon be remedied with the 10-second drawing. 10-second Columbo in 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, just get his head in there, his eyes, his hand, cigar, his tie, his coat. Ding, ding, ding. Drawing things quickly and badly, hi Ollie, is a lot more fun when it's on purpose. As a treat. But that said, with all of the rushed out art videos that I've been doing lately, it might be good for me, healthy even, to slow it down. Maybe I can start the 10-minute, 10-hour, 10-day drawing challenge. Really take my time, We went from Columbo to Drunk Columbo to Squidward Goes to Hogwarts in the span of 12 minutes. And I think that's beautiful. Remember, folks, art is a very silly occupation for very silly people. Speaking of silly people, what was with that trend from a few years ago of painting iPhones and hydro flasks, like customizing them? Each video had this, like the same exact look. They had this PNG of this paintbrush with the really gloopy purple-blue paint, and it's gonna be in this one too. But it would just be like on anything. Like it would be on a car, it would be on a water bottle, it would be on a phone or a phone case. Anything at all. Customize your mom, customize your cat, customize your money. That sounds legal. It was a weird time, but if I'm gonna follow in the art YouTuber's footsteps, I have to give it a shot. Now, I don't have an iPhone, or a hydro flask, or paint. But I do have a Posca pen, a dry metallic Sharpie, a pink water bottle that I bought from Walmart, and a dream. Also, if you notice that cut, it's the next day. My laptop has the battery level of a baked potato, so you might see another time skip at some point. Just for you, I wore the same outfit for continuity. Don't worry, I changed my underwear. Lately, I've been doodling this character, tentatively named Mercy, from my Appletina video, and I figured it would be a really simple thing to just draw it on the water bottle. Just put it on there. It was not. I didn't really know the Sharpie was dry before I started, so I tried switching to the Posca to preserve the shapes of the shoes and the gloves and the skirt and everything around that, which kind of worked okay. But the head was too dark, and then the Posca made it too bright, so I tried using black water-based marker, which kind of made a disgusting smudge around the mouth, and then everything was falling apart, and I got really sad, and to make myself feel better, I drew a funny smiley face on the cap. But then I found a very stinky black marker that I used to highlight the contours and darken the dark bits, and that worked pretty well. But unfortunately, the ink rubs off on my fingies. What they don't tell you in those customization videos is that the customization dramatically lowers one's desire to actually interact with said object with your real human hands. Especially if it's customized with some, standard art materials that aren't meant to be touched and fondled all over after their application. This trend may have been really good for boosting your videos in the algorithm for some reason, but let's be honest, it made the items functionally worse. And Teslas don't even function to begin with. Just a waste of materials all around. There's a lesson to be learned here. Know thy markers. But the job of knowing thy markers is much easier when you only need to keep track of 3 of them. The 3 marker challenge was a popular art YouTuber trend in which you select 3 random markers from your extensive, expensive marker collection and do your best to make an illustration with them. The assortment of markers at my disposal currently are this assortment of Tombow brush pens consisting mostly of grays and blues. So imagine my surprise when my extremely random, extremely systematic selection yielded 2 grays and a blue. Long story short, I used the lightest gray to do a sketch of this creature before going in with the darker gray to introduce some more depth and texture variance. Then I darkened the darkest darks with the dark blue, also blending that blue lightly into the rest of the image. Though I may have overdone it a bit with the dark blue contours that were a little bit too thick and may have flattened out the design in some places, I'm kind of torn on it. Let me know what you think. Normally, when I draw these creatures, and by creatures I mean these unknowable, abominable constructs, I assign them as the spirit of something very esoteric and niche. So I'm naming this one Spirit of Limited Affection. Because I love markers, but I could only use 3 of them. You may also call it Pierre for short. Don't think about it too hard. Of all the challenges that I did for this video, this one was by far the most consistent with what I enjoy drawing in my own sketchbook, on my own time, only for the fun of it. I suppose that also makes it the most honest artwork in the video. I think art YouTube would be a lot more fun overall if people were really honest and made things that they enjoyed. I'm projecting. Okay, time for another biggie. The Multiple Styles Drawing Challenge. Almost every art YouTuber out there has done this challenge in some form or fashion. And now I shall do the same, so that I may one day feast with them in the halls of Valhalla. Brother, who are you trying to impress? Artists are already so egotistical that they don't need all that, or they think so little of themselves that they wouldn't accept it anyway. Damn. There are a few different variants of this challenge, but the purest form of it involves selecting one character and redrawing them in multiple different art styles across various media. Time jump. You can tell because I took my head off. Anyway, for the multiple styles challenge, we're going to need to choose a character. A character whose virtue and heroism are worthy enough to be represented in this beautiful myriad of styles. It's Columbo again. It's Columbo again. The first style that I drew Columbo in was The Simpsons. I used to draw a lot of Marge Simpson dressed as Marth from Fire Emblem because my humor is broken, so I just kind of channeled that experience to create a pretty fair likeness of the character and the show. Style number 2 was the Chainsaw Man manga, suggested by Nick, good old chum that he is. This was not easy for me at all. Fujimoto's line work is both angular and soft in a way that's very difficult to describe and even more difficult for me to emulate. But I gave it a shot, and you know what? It's certainly one of the drawings I've ever made. Third style was Wallace and Gromit. I basically just copied Wallace's Chinese Gromit pose and stuck some of Columbo's features right on top. The human characters in those shorts have very similar faces anyway, so, you know, he'd fit right into their little sleepy, wacky English village full of veg. Number 4 was Dragon Ball, which I found unexpectedly challenging. The characters in the comic look really simple and really appealing, but I had to seriously study reference in order to get even like a close approximation of what the characters actually look like. It's a deceptively difficult style, and to be honest, I'm extremely thankful that Columbo wears a raincoat because it just meant I didn't have to draw all the musculature. It turned out fine. I like it. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure was the 5th style, and that's a style that I've practiced a lot over the years. Problem is, Columbo has a very recognizable face, and most of Araki's characters have the exact same face. So it took a little while to find a happy medium, but I think we got there. All of the hatching that I did really helped to bring it into that JoJo style, but I think I probably could have pushed the pose a little bit more. Finally, we have Regular Show. This was by far the easiest style to mimic, but hey, I'm still proud of it. I don't think Mordecai and Rigby would ever murder somebody, but if they did, you could be sure Columbo's going to be there ready to deal out his signature form of cosmic justice. I am of course referring to the Columbo dimension, of which there is no escape. This segment took the longest to complete because of how meticulously I approached each style. And by meticulously, I mean fretting over every single tiny detail until I lost the essence of the style that I was trying to achieve in the first place. For example, I was honestly really disappointed with the JoJo Columbo because even though I included a lot of the drawing style signifiers within the art, there was just something about it. That spark was gone. It wasn't there. I think I spent too long trying to get everything right that I didn't really approach it with, I don't know, the spirit of the art in mind. It didn't feel like JoJo. And there's far more to emulating an art style than just making the right marks in the right spots. If you really pay attention, every art style has a mood, a tone, a theme, just like a story. The more you can imagine those elements as you draw, the closer you're going to get to the soul of the original. And I think that's why the Regular Show Columbo is my favorite out of the bunch, because I really approached it in a chill and fun way and just embraced the silliness of it all. In comparison, the others feel really stiff and uptight, almost like I had something to prove by drawing them. Maybe I did. This was a lot of fun. I really highly recommend trying this challenge out for yourself. Mimicking an art style from somebody else is a really great way to get in tune with that intuitive part of your brain, and at the end of it you have Regular Show Lumbo, which is always good. Also, I know the video's not over yet and we have a lot left to go, but if you enjoy this video, if you could hit that like button and maybe even subscribe if you're nasty. What? The old art supply challenge was pretty popular a few years ago. It's exactly how it sounds. Some artists would go on eBay, find some decades-old art materials, and take them for a test drive. And I don't just mean a pack of Crayolas from 1997. No, these people were going online and finding 100-year-old tubes of oil paint to swatch on their 8x8 Artist Loft student-grade canvas that they bought in a 12-pack at Michael's. But since these silly YouTubers were so busy sniffing up their emerald green made with arsenic and slurping up their mummy brown made with mummies, they neglected to realize that the oldest art supply was right beneath their feet the entire time.
Bag of dirt.
And since the water bottle drawing didn't work out so great, I decided to take that character and draw them again and, just give them another fair shot with a even more difficult and even more unforgiving medium. Yay!
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna skip to the end real quick. Apple.
It turned out okay. I almost got upset with myself because the literal dirt painting wasn't coming out as clean as I thought it might. Tell me to chill out in the comments below. Try new things. Get your hands dirty. Might be worth it. Might not be. But hey, at least your life won't be boring. Now if we jump ahead in time, like I just did, to slightly after the invention of dirt, we arrive in the long-forgotten year of 2006. I was 8 years old, and wise beyond my years because I understood two universal truths that some people take a lifetime to discover for themselves. Drawing is fun. Bionicles are freaking awesome. Thankfully, 8-year-old Brendan decided to combine these interests into the passionate display of draftsmanship you see before you here, because it provided 25-year-old Brendan the opportunity to participate in the Redrawing Childhood Art Challenge. God, that's bleak. Yeah, this was the challenge where I kind of realized that my reasons for making this video in the first place were a little dubious. There's nothing wrong at all with redrawing childhood artwork, but something about the idea of milking this genuine, innocent expression of joy for the sake of content? It rubbed me the wrong way. I joyfully crafted the original image for the love of it, so I chose to lovingly update this blessed picture and keep the adorable doofiness alive. And that's all there is to it. I can confidently say that I somehow tapped into the same joy and excitement that I had drawing the Toa Inika here 17 years ago. Maybe not in quantity, but certainly in substance. Never betray your childlike wonder for the sake of content. Go draw a Bionicle because you want to, and because I said so. What am I mad about again? I forget. Oh yeah, the bourgeoisie! These millionaire art video moguls with their costly collections of copious Copic markers. I actually have some Copics too, but I got them at Michael's with my employee discount, so it's different. But those vile 1%ers are so out of touch with us peasants, with us peons, that they feel the need to go out and buy dollar store art supplies and make videos about it so they can get back in touch with their humanity. You think a 5-pack of Bic mechanical pencils and a sheet of poster board will save your uppity soul? I'm just kidding. The cheap art supply challenge is a way for people with a budget to create art regardless of their means, which is admirable. But I'm not going to run all the way to the dollar store because $1 is not cheaper than free. Still not as free as dirt, but close enough. Somebody once left this bad boy on the frame counter when I was working at Michael's, so now I can stick it behind my ear and pretend I've ever experienced a hard day's work. Oh, and shout out to SE Wisconsin Carpentry Training Center, Chicago Regional Council Apprenticeship Training Fund. If you're ever in need of a apprenticeship for carpentry in Wisconsin, this is my official endorsement. Now to fit this pencil, if only we had a subject that matches the essence of the everyday. A subject with a down-to-earth attitude that the people can really get behind. It's Columbo, isn't it? It's gonna be Columbo again. Well, that was fun. You know what's less fun? The side-by-side realism challenge! Yeah! I don't get it. Like, every art YouTuber does this at some point, and... Look, I did the whole thing, okay? I selected a pencil sharpener. I carefully placed it upon the page. I chose a mechanical pencil by which to mimic its appearance. And I messed it all up. The proportions and perspective were warped, the lighting was all wrong, and the textures were way off. Thankfully, that was only because I was drawing with my left hand, and I was blindfolded, and my pencil was broken, and it was actually my little brother drawing the entire time. But we don't give up. I tried it immediately, right there, once again, and this time without any of the very real inhibitors that stopped me from performing amazingly last time. And it was actually looking a lot better. I was getting so close. The proportions are better. Things are looking good. And then I got really bored. Then I gave up. Also, I was really bad at it. But, you know, I guess sometimes it's just important to try things, even if you're going to be bad at them. Just like every art YouTuber on this website, you're trash. You're all trash. Peter Draws? More like Peter Drools. Doodle Date? More like Doodle Hate. Alfonso Dunn? Yeah, I'm Alfonso Dunn watching your videos. Super Ray Dizzo? More like Super No Rizzle. Chloe Rose Art? Yeah, more like Chloe Blows Hard. Hey, ADC Art Attack? Does the ADC stand for Always Bad Content? And Proco. You really think you're better than everyone else because you know where the quadratus femoris muscle is? Go kick a football, nerd. Ergo Josh? Ergo Hogwash. Emily Artful? Emily Fartful. Drawfee Show? More like, I don't think so. Ignore this. Oh, and Wyatt Manga? Thanks for contributing to books like these so I know what not to read. Robin Selak? More like Robin Disembark from YouTube. Got him. Draw with Jazza? More like, please bring back the character design sessions. I really miss those. Those are my favorites. Why'd you stop? Why'd you stop? But at least we have Character Design Forge, which is a really appropriate name because you never stop tempering my already low expectations. Alright, let's see. What else do we have here? Temi Dunzo, Ethan Becker, Ethan Bedwetter. Yeah, you get it. Banana Boy. I just put, you're a clown, but in parentheses it says derogatory. ZHC. Tell you what, ZHC, if you pay off my student loans, then I'll consider making fun of you.
Are there? Oh, okay. Hey guys, you're not gonna believe this, but when I was out there, my laptop died again. It's so crazy, right? Right as I was gonna make my point. Just right as I was gonna make my point. It just kind of stops. And I just wanted to reiterate that everyone that I mentioned during that whole rant at the end is indeed trash. Garbage. Rubbish. Waste of space. Okay? And I just want to say, if you have an art channel, okay, if you're an art YouTuber and I didn't mention you there, I just wanted to say I think you're trash too. So thank you guys so much for watching. This was a really fun process of making all of this art and doing this new kind of video. So, you know, like the video if you enjoyed it. Yeah, subscribe if you're nasty. What? And yeah, I guess I'll see you next time. So later, man.
I never had to assert myself as somebody who draws pictures for the internet. It's verifiable. You can find Davey from 8 Crazy Nights as Kagurabachi right now. It's available. But I think when I started planning this video, it was really secretly more about asserting myself as someone who has value to myself. That's a very bad, very erroneous paradigm that has since been addressed. I don't feel like that anymore. I know my worth already, and it's not based on my proximity to other people's skill level or numbers of any kind. But I had already drawn everything, written and recorded for the video, so I needed a way to reapproach it so that I could incorporate and communicate what I understand now. And I can only hope that it was as satisfying for you as it was necessary for me. Okay. With that, I am gonna wrap it up. I'm gonna slap together an edit, and I'm gonna start making more stuff. Not because I should, because I must. Later, man. Go away, please go away. I'm trying to record this today. You are not helping me do this thing,